Apollo 11, timers of your education. Now hit this one award first and time. Here we go. There you go. Okay.
Thanks very much. A great man once said that education is the most powerful weapon with which we can change the world. And I believe that VR and AR technology is the most powerful medium with which we can provide immersive educational experiences. Apollo 11 is the most important mission that mankind has ever embarked on, and then for the first time you can truly experience it through the eyes of those who live through it. I'm very, very honoured to win this award, especially coming from a very, very small town in Ireland. It is my hope, no, it is my belief that there is a child today, somewhere in life on this planet, who is eventually going to set foot upon Mars. And I really, really hope that they get to experience VR in school and that they get to experience Apollo 11 and this sets them on the path to becoming an astronaut or a scientist or an engineer and will actually eventually create the ships that will travel to Mars. Finally, I'd like to thank my amazing team. Drash, he's an amazing developer to work with. Nick Pitta, who's our animator. Mario Mantovani, who is our ROM maker. And of course, Sandra, who's our voiceover artist. Thanks very much.
Welcome to Lecture VR Public Alpha 0.1. Lecture VR is a tool that allows users to hold meetings, professors to hold classes, and content creators to create immersive experiences. Think of us as a type of network virtual reality PowerPoint with immersive environments, simulated objects, and interactive tools that will make educational content fun and intuitive. This early alpha release is designed to test some of the capabilities of Lecture VR and will allow you to hold your own private meetings, presentations and classes over the network, collaborate on whiteboards remotely, and load our demo lessons. Our goal is to provide a platform that educators can utilise to enhance their students' education and to provide an alternative method for distance learning programmes, giving our users a sense of being in a real location, taking part in a real class.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there for a moment. First off, you've seen the Apollo 11 experience, which I've been demoing here today. And what that experience is, it's a virtual reality documentary. And it's unlike any other documentary you've seen. So in standard documentaries, you have a narrator that tells you the story, and then you're brought on a journey. And the documentary cuts from scene to scene. So your vision is just in a square box, and you're told exactly what to look at. In a virtual reality documentary, what we do is we recreate history, and we put you in the shoes of somebody who lived through it. So in the Apollo 11 experience, you see the events as Neil Armstrong seen the events. So an example is when you're in the lunar module, when you're landing, we got all the original data from NASA, so they created a photo mosaic of the landing site before Neil and Buzz landed. We took that photo mosaic and we put it in the virtual reality experience. So when you look out the window, you see every valley, every crater exactly as Neil saw it. So you get to experience the mission for yourself and make up your own mind. We're also working on another virtual reality documentary based on the Titanic. So you get to experience the sinking. So you're there when the ship gets struck by the iceberg and you see it through the eyes of a survivor. We've also done a deal with a company that works with National Geographic. They went to survey the shipwreck back 5 years ago. And from the sonar data and all the photographs that they've taken, they've created a very, very accurate model with the debris field included. So we've got that model. So you'll actually be able to dive on the shipwreck as well and explore inside the shipwreck. And that's due for release in April of next year, hopefully. I don't have to kind of pin myself down to an exact date, but we're trying to release it for the 105th anniversary of the sinking. In the second bit of that video, you can see Lecture VR, which is our educational platform. And what it essentially is you as an educator can be here in Ireland, and you can teach a subject to any other person in the world in a virtual location. You can have 50 students inside that class at the same time. And what we're trying to achieve is why you can teach a class in the classroom. So if you're teaching marine biology, why not teach that on the seabed and have a whale swim through the centre of the class? So it's a lot more engaging. And what we do is you as an educator, if you have a VR headset on you and you have the hand controllers like the setup over there, you can give a live presentation as I am here, and we track your movement. So as I'm walking here in the real space, your avatar in the virtual space will also walk and move in a natural way. And what that gives people is a sense of presence, so that really feels like a real person, because it is a real person in virtual space. You can also do PowerPoint presentations, and you have like virtual whiteboards that you can write on and collaborate. And then you solve with a virtual tablet, you can load in effects. So it's a lot more engaging for students, we feel, all around. There's a huge problem with online education. There's huge, massive online course systems called MOOCs, and thousands of people use these online course systems, but very few people ever finish a course, and on average only 15% of people will ever finish an online course. We feel with virtual reality, when you feel like you're in a real class and your classmates are real people and real avatars, we feel we can at least double or triple that completion rate, and that's what our goal is. There's a huge problem with education, and it's brewing. So in Ireland, everybody talks about the price of houses and rent and how fast it's rising, but nobody really talks about the price of education. We have a couple of guys down in our Waterford office, they're from America, and one of the guys have asked him like how much did his education cost him, and this was 3 years ago. So he'd done 4 years in college in America. It cost him $150,000. But estimates in the next 5 years, that same education that he got will cost him $250,000. So if you have 2 or 3 children, you're going to need to be a millionaire to send your children to college in America. In China and developing countries, there's a huge issue with education there. They have thousands upon thousands of kids who are hugely qualified to go to college and university, really smart kids, but they have no access to these colleges and universities because they can't build them fast enough, and they don't have enough professors. To become a professor takes 7 or 8 years, and they can't train these people fast enough. We feel that virtual reality is a real alternative for these people. It's the only alternative in the future going forward, we feel. So an educator, say, if you're an educator here in Trinity, which is a great university, say professor might only be able to teach 400 students in an academic year. If that same educator goes into Lecture VR and teaches his lessons and records his lessons inside Lecture VR and provides it to the world, why not teach 400,000 students? So that's what we're trying to achieve in Waterford. What I'm going to show you next is we originally had a Kickstarter campaign for Apollo 11. It went live, it was very successful, and we got Apollo 11 funded through Kickstarter. So this is one of the guys who backed us on Kickstarter. He played one of the early prototypes, and this is exactly the demographic that we're going for. So this guy is student age. He just played Apollo 11 and he posted his thoughts up online. So I'm just going to play this shortly and I'm going to take some questions after, okay?
So, yeah, that was the end of the demo. I'm recording this end part because my unfortunately my webcam stopped at the end there, but I'm just going to pretty much say what I said there, and that this was absolutely amazing. Like, this was just incredible. It makes me so happy that my rift right here can make me feel such powerful emotions from something that wasn't even real. And I haven't experienced something quite like that. Any of you guys have seen I use my rift a lot and play a lot of different games on it, and I'm usually hyper and like crazy excited, and I'm really excited right now, but I just got a lot of emotions going through me right now. So because of just how amazingly detailed and just how awesome that was. Can you imagine, like, if you were back in high school and you were in your science class and you started talking about the Apollo missions, and instead of going through a long lecture about it, they gave you a VR headset and put you in this? How much more is that able to teach you than just someone sitting up there talking about it? Not that it's a bad thing, but this is just so much more powerful. I felt like I was in that space show with Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins. That was... and I'm not crying, but I certainly feel like I want to, because that's all I can say about it. It was just amazing, and these guys did a fantastic job. I'm definitely got to be backing them a lot now, because this needs to happen. This needs to become a thing. Virtual reality education, things like this need to become a thing.
Okay, so he actually goes on for another 5 or 6 minutes. You can look it up on our website if you want. There's quite a few videos very similar to that. A lot of people, especially like a lot of young kids, when you ask them what do you want to be when you grow up, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a fireman. For a lot of people, this is as close as they ever get to becoming an astronaut. So that's why it has such an emotional impact. What we're trying to achieve as well is we're trying to create emotional education. So what we mean by that is everybody here watches thousands and thousands of movies, but you only ever remember the movies that make you laugh or make you cry because it has such an emotional resonance with you. We're trying to bring that into education. So inside our experiences, to really heighten emotions, we use a lot of audio as well, a lot of music, and it really heightens the emotion because people have been using music for centuries to get emotions out of other people. As well, like I think everybody here can remember where they were when they had their first kiss, and if you remember what they were wearing and who they were with, and it's really vivid in your mind because it had such an emotional impact with you. Whereas if I ask you what you've done the day before, the day previous, you're going to have a tough time remembering. That's what emotion can do. So if you can bring emotion into education, people will retain that knowledge a lot more. And what we're doing as well, our company tagline is learn through experience. So in our Lecture VR platform, as an example, we have a ballistic trajectory lesson where you have a short 2-minute lecture, an avatar is there giving you the lesson, and as soon as the lesson is over, you're put standing next to a cannon against 5 other people, and you have to calculate on the fly how to hit that target out at sea using the ballistic trajectory lesson that you've just been taught. Because we find in education, you can tell a student x plus y equals z, x plus y equals z, and they'll remember that for maybe a couple of weeks and they'll pass the test. But if you ask that same student 3 months later, what's x plus y equals, they forget. Whereas if you give somebody a practical application, they're learning through experience, and that really sinks in with those people. So that's what virtual reality allows you to do. So that's my spiel really. We have 10 people in Waterford in our development team. We're actually still hiring at the moment. We're looking for really, really skilled game developers. Anybody with 7-8 years experience, more than welcome to send their CVs to us. And we're expanding all the time. And I'm looking for any questions that anybody has. Thank you very much. Any questions? Don't be shy.
What's your background? What were you doing before this?
Yeah, my background, I was a web developer for 8 years. I had my own company in Waterford. As soon as I got the Oculus DK1, which is 3.5 years ago, as soon as I put it on my face, I sold my web development business and just went straight into VR development. Because, like, I have 3 kids myself, And the first thing they got to try was a solar system experience. And when they came out, they could start telling me the moons, Jupiter, they could tell me all the Ganymede stuff. And